So, what's up, everybody? I want to talk about something that happened today, and it happened before. Um, and it pissed me off back then, but now it's pissed me off even more. But I was sitting at work today around 9 o'clock, 9:45, I want to say, and my son's school called me to inform me that he was not at school today. He's not at school. So, of course, frantically, I called the school to make sure he's there. Turns to find out he is there. Um, and I'm asking them, how does that come about? How do they say that, how do they claim or they saying that he's not in school? Like, what are what are the rules and regulations? Like, what do you guys do to figure that out? Other than, the only reason I think you could claim that is if that kid is physically not there. So anyway, I called, and the receptionist of the school called the teacher and made sure that my son was in school, which he was. And she confirmed to me that he was in his class or whatever, and he probably went to the bathroom or whatever it is. So when it was attendance time, he wasn't there. But here's my thing. Probably he went to the bathroom and he wasn't there for attendance. But who allowed him to go to the bathroom? I mean, I don't understand. I'm not understanding. And I mean, that's probably why too I'm making the video, because partially upset and disappointed, but at the same time I just don't understand. So I asked to speak to the vice principal, and his first thing is that, probably he just got up and went to the bathroom or whatever. Okay, but why am I getting a call saying that my child is not in school? Like, you know how that feels to be at work and you know for a fact that you dropped your son off at school, your son walked to school, you video chat your son, whatever the case may be, just whatever. But you know for a fact that your child is in school, but the school is calling you to tell you that your child is not in school, okay? So, my heart is racing, and I'm asking the principal, how do you guys come about, And he's explaining to me that, sometimes the kids run in the bathroom or whatever. I said, well, is there any staff, because my son goes from breakfast to his class. And then he says to me, well, in the morning, the lady, the teacher, whoever's in the room, pays attention to the kid. I said, well, of course, that's what I expect. That's your job to, pay attention. And then he proceeds to tell me that, the kids, it gets to be so many kids in the cafeteria that, they lose track of, who's there and who's not there. So my first thing is, what? So you're telling me that basically you're understaffed. You don't have enough staff to watch these kids. That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that, it's too many kids for the teachers or whatever, or whoever, the aides. So, I told him straight up. I said, that's lazy. In my opinion, that's lazy. Because I'm sending my kids. Every parent is sending their kid to school thinking that they're safe and all of that. Like, when you send your kid to school, that's like, your kids go to school Monday through Friday. And for them to tell me, like, he didn't say the words understaffed, but for him to tell me that, it's just so many kids all around, the teachers can't keep track. The hell if you can't. You're supposed to. That's your job. That is your job. And, like, how do you claim that a kid is not at school? And I asked him. I said, so for the teacher who, I know they take an attendance before they go to class. The teacher has to put down an attendance of who is in that room. So my son is there every day, and you mean to tell me from she take his attendance while he's in the lunchroom, the cafeteria, to when he gets to his class. So that don't ring a bell in your ear to research, like to do your background, to research it or whatever? You first thing you do is call the parent and say, oh, your child is missing. Like, how do you think a parent is supposed to take that? Like, I don't understand these school systems. Like, I do not understand. I don't understand how they could come about that. And it's almost like he wanted to argue with me because I'm trying to find out, well, if it's not enough, if the teacher can't tell where the kids are, like, that's enough for me to say I don't want my son to go to that school. Thank God it's his last year. But it's like, that don't ring a bell? Like, that don't bother you? As a parent, it bothers me. You know, like, I'm sending my son to school, you calling me to tell me, and that's not the first time you calling me to tell me he's not there. Like, what's your job? Like, why you... I'm just irritated because they called me before they knew. The same way I called the school for them to call the classroom to find out if he's there is the same way they should have did it. He was there. They're claiming he was there in the morning, right? Morning, and then after breakfast to class, he wasn't there. I guess for roll call or whatever. But like, aren't you supposed to look into that shit first before you call the parent and freaking... Like, you guys are... My heart was racing. It was racing. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was calling the school that nobody was answering. I was ready to leave work. Like, I'm sorry. What do y'all think? Do you think it's okay, like, for a school to just call you and tell you that your kid is not in school? Just off the rip like that. Like, not even... And I'm not saying not breakfast, not in school. I'm talking about in breakfast and then not in class. Like, doesn't that ring a bell for you to check into it first before you run and call the parent and say your kid never got to school? Not even like... And then when I asked him, he says, oh, that was what's the word? I forgot the word that he used. But basically he's saying that was just a precaution thing, a precautious thing. Then they need to state that too. Like, they need to state that too. Like, I'm not happy with this situation. I'm just not.